2nd of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Belis Quetta, and thanks for joining us today. And the news making the rounds: canned cakes as federal government limits religious gatherings to 50%. Morocco extends health emergency status to January 31st. US and Russia agree to talk as Putin hits out on Ukraine. Niger Delta Agency plans 8 Songhai farms in rivers, Bayelsa and Deltas. And on sports, Eagles end 2021 as 36th best team. Stay with us as the details of the news comes after the short timeout. Welcome back, and now on the news in full. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 says indoors religious gathering should be limited to 50% with full compliance to public health measures. And this was contained in a statement signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of the PSC, Boss Mustafa. And the statement explained that there has been reduced compliance to public health social measures, which has led to increased COVID-19 cases in the country. And the committee, however, added that it might be forced to introduce more restrictions should there be more increase in cases. And the statement states the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 recognizes the importance of the Christmas and New Year celebrations for most Nigerians as they prepare to celebrate with their families and loved ones. It is important that they do so in safety by taking the necessary precautionary measures to stop the further spread of COVID-19 in the country. And the PSC wishes to remind Nigerians that they are now experiencing the fourth wave of COVID-19 as new cases have continued to rise in the country. And this is as the result of a mix of various low vaccination coverage, increased travels and movements, reduced compliance to public health social measures, and highly transmissible Omicron SARS-CoV-2 variants now circulating in the country. And the statement further reads that indoor religious congregations should be limited to 50% capacity with full compliance to public health social measures, and face masks and hand sanitizer should be used at all times regardless of vaccination status while in public spaces. And when contacted for comments on restrictions of the places of worship during the Yuletide, the Christian Association of Nigeria asks Christians to adhere to COVID-19 protocols and can, however, fault the government's directives that all gatherings must not exceed 50% capacity. And moving forward to another news, Ohaneze hails Umahi for beating a deadline on Ebubeagu's inauguration. The APES Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze and Igbo, has commended Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State for breaking the jinx by launching the Saudi security network code-named Ebubeagu in the state. Ohaneze had asked the governors of the Southeast to launch a security outfit before December 31st, 2020 in their respective states to tackle insecurity in the region. But less than 8 days to the day, Umahi is also the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, and he launched the Ebubeagbu in his state. And Ohaneze, in a statement by his national publicity and secretary, Chief Alex Ogbonia, reminded the governors that security was a collective responsibility, adding that security architecture that is delinked with the people cannot identify criminal elements amongst the people. And Ohaneze Ndigbo commends Governor Umahi for his courage, assertiveness, vision, and granite commitment and determination to take Ebonyi State to the next level. And the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Ambassador George Obiozo, had in his Christmas and New Year message last week called on the governors to keep to their promise by rolling out Ebubeagbu before December 31st, 2021. In another development, ex-NSCDC commandant forfeits 60 buildings and lands to federal government over corruption. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered the final forfeiture of 60 buildings illegally acquired by a former deputy commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Adenike Bintu, to the government. And Bintu was said to have defrauded over 1,000 persons who subscribed to her housing estate located along the airport road in Abuja. And the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission had approached Justice O. Ngwata, praying for an order for the final forfeiture of the 60 buildings and a 9.6 hectare land, both located at Sabon Lugbe Southwest Extension around the airport zone of Abuja, and alleged to have been acquired by Bintu through corrupt means. And the Commission's counsel, John Paul Okwo, told the court that the ICPC was relying on Section 48, Subsection 1, Subsection 2, and Subsection 3 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offense Act of the year 2000, which gives its power to approach courts to forfeit property corruptly acquired by individuals. And a statement by the ICPC spokesperson, Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa, titled ICPC NSCDC Commandant forfeits 60 buildings land to federal government, says the commission had acquired or had argued, before the court that the former commandant set up a private company, Fate Winners Victory Properties Limited, through which she allegedly perpetrated the fraud by selling plots of land and unsuspecting members to unsuspecting members of the public. And the court heard that Bintu claimed that the land which she used in defrauding over 1,000 subscribers was owned in partnership with the NSCDC. She also says to have told the court in her argument that the ICPC had no power to prosecute civil cases and that Section 6 and 48 of the Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offenses Act of the year 2000, relied upon by the Commission, had been repealed by the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Act of 2003. And on the news coming from around Africa, Morocco extends health emergency status to January 31st. The Moroccan government extended the nationwide health state of emergency to January 31st, the country's state's news agency reported. And the decision comes at a time where there is a rise in COVID-19 infections in the country. The Moroccan Ministry of Health reported 427 new COVID-19 infections and 3 deaths on December 23rd, bringing the number of confirmed cases in the country. Parties and special events organized in hotels, restaurants, and tourist establishments. A curfew on the New Year's Eve will be imposed between 12 midnight to 6 a.m. in a bid to reinforce the preventive measures. And still from around Africa, Ex-president of DRC Kabila sues NGOs over money laundering claims. The former president of Democratic Republic of Congo's Joseph Kabila is planning to sue a media house and a group of NGOs for what he termed as an act of defamation and manipulation on an alleged report that he siphoned off $138 million over 5 years. In the report entitled Congo Hold Up, Kabila told together a scandal by French online investigative media, Mediapart, and the NGO's platform for protection of whistleblowers in Africa. Kabila's lawyer says they are now heading to court, and the authors of the said report published by Extract did not find any element, any precise or conclusive act concerning the honorary president of the Republic, says Raphael Nyaburingu, and Joseph Kabila's lawyer. And following the serious and international violation of his fundamental rights as a citizen, he says his clients reserved the right to seize incessantly the competent judicial authorities, both in the Democratic Republic of Congo and abroad, so that justice is done. And Kabila's close allies and supporters have vowed to protect the former president from any attack that they labeled tarnishing. We're going to short break right now. When we come back, we get more news updates from the United States of America. The borders, and the U.S. have threatened Mr. Putin with sanctions like none he's ever seen if Ukraine comes under attack. And senior White House official declines to respond to the Russian president's score and demands that NATO abandons all military activities in Eastern Europe and not admit Ukraine as a member, although both appear to be non-starters. And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says although there had been no final agreement on diplomatic talks, the U.S. was working towards them and looking forward to them. UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss says she welcomed the fact that Moscow had signaled it is willing to enter in talks in January, but warned any Russian attack will be met with sanctions that may hit Russia's economy. And more updates from the United Kingdom. Booster rollouts to continue on Christmas Day. People in England will be able to get a COVID booster jab on Christmas Day and Boxing Day as part of efforts to target Omicron variant, the NHS has said. And the vaccinations will also take place on Christmas Eve, that's today, with about 200,000 first, second, and booster appointments still bookable over the festive period. Health Secretary Sajid Javid thanked the NHS staff and volunteers who were giving up time with the families and friends. Officials will also be working to fix supply chain delays with their home tests. The UK Health Security Agency, UKHSA, says it was sending a record number of rapid lateral flow tests to people's homes every day, but acknowledged there is an issue with deliveries to some pharmacies. The NHS England says its Jingle Jab campaign will see COVID vaccines administered at local sites such as town halls and pharmacies over the Christmas weekend. It advised people to book an appointment in advance, but say they will be able to turn up at centers in some areas, including Eastbourne, Hartlepool, Croydon, and Dewsbury. Dr. Emil Lawson, head of the NHS COVID vaccination program, says she would encourage anyone not already boosted to come forward, book an appointment, and get the gift of a jab. The UK set another daily COVID record with 119,789 confirmed cases, and there were further 147 deaths within 28 days of positive tests. It has also been recorded breaking week for booster and a third jab in the UK, with more than 968,665 administered on Wednesday, the highest number to date. And moving forward to business news, Niger Delta Agency plans 8 Songhai farms in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta. The Niger Delta Basin Development Authority has disclosed plans to set up 8 Songhai farms in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta states, respectively, aimed at curbing youth unemployment. The managing director of the NDBDA, Mark Derefaka, disclosed this during the closing of a youth empowerment scheme training program in Songhai farms in Pong community of the Kana local government area of Rivers State. 50 trainees have completed the scheme. And according to Derefaka, the authorities have 4 farms already shung into the farm as manure and also recycled to produce electricity. Derefaka explained that the goal was to have a Songhai farm in each of the senatorial districts in the country, adding that there would be a reduction over a dependence on oil. And he says each senatorial district will have a Songhai farm. Currently, they have this one in the Pong community of Rivers, that's in the southeast, and they have another one in the Sama in Aseri Toru, and they have another one in Otweke in the Bayelsa, and Emonu Orogun in Delta State. And also speaking, the NDBDA Executive Director, Agricultural Services, Dr. Somerset Mboinwe, says the Songhai farm in Pong has 250 piggery capacity, 10,000 capacity of poultry, 36,000 capacity of fish farm, a plantation for oil palm, citrus, mango, plantain, amongst others. And still on business news, federal government projects 61% growth in GDP per capita by 2025. The federal government says that it expects Nigeria's gross domestic product per capita to rise to $3,706 by 2025, and this represents about 61% of the projected growth from the $2,300 of GDP per capita growth forecasted for 2021. And this was stated in the National Development Plan of 2021 to 2025. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Nivi Adebayo, says the country's GDP, which currently hovers around $500 billion, was experiencing steady growth, projecting that the GDP per capita will rise by $2,300 by the end of the year. And he says that the GDP per capita is expected to reach $2,300 by the end of 2021, and this is over 84% higher than the African average. And despite the view that Nigeria's economy has historically been driven by oil, recent growth has been driven up by primarily the non-oil sectors such as financial services, telecommunication, entertainment. And this shows that the diversification agency is working. The oil sector now only contributes to approximately 14% of the GDP. And he added that investors from places as diverse as Europe, China, Morocco, and the United Kingdom were making strong commitments to the country. That's a good one there for Nigeria. And we're going to another short break, and after we'll talk about news updates as the Eagles end 2021 as 36th best team. Stay with us.
team to showcase to the world that which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
Welcome back, and now on sports news. Eagles end 2021 as 36th best team. The Super Eagles were unmoved in the latest FIFA ranking released, ending the year as the 36th ranked nation in the world, while Belgium and Canada ended the year as the best teams in the world. Nigeria has started the year as the 36th ranked nation in the world in January 2021. And they, however, achieved their best ranking of the year in April, where they were placed 32nd. Their current ranking places them 5th in Africa behind Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. And the Eagles, who amassed a total of 1,478 points in the outgoing year, played 11 games, recorded 6 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. And of the 11 games, 8 of them were competitive matches comprising of qualifiers for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon and the group phase games of the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifiers. The Eagles won 6 of the 8 competitive games, while losing the Central African Republic and grabbing a draw versus Cape Verde in the World Cup qualifiers. In the overall world ranking, the Belgians, despite failing to win Euro 2020, ended the year as the best team with 1,832 points, while Brazil are close in second with 1,826 points. World Cup holders France, England, and Argentina are at the top 5 teams, while Euro 2020 winners Italy are 6th. Spain, Portugal, Denmark, and the Netherlands are at the top 10 countries. In another sports story, Zaha recalled to Ivory Coast squad for the AFCON. Crystal Palace striker Wilfred Zaha was recalled to the Ivory Coast squad for the next month's Africa Cup of Nations. And the 29-year-old refused to join the team at their last gathering in November, but coach Patrice Baumel has included him in the squad for the tournament, which gets underway on the 9th of January in Cameroon. And the teams that lifted the trophy for the second time in 2015, notably defenders Serge Aurier and Eric Bailly as well. The Ivory Coast opened their campaign against Equatorial Guinea on January 12th, followed by further group games against Sierra Leone and Algeria. And that's the size of the news for us today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us, here is a recap of the news making the headlines. Can Russia agree to talk as Putin hits out on Ukraine? Niger Delta Agency plans 8 Songhai farms in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta. And Eagles end 2021 as the 36th best team in the world. And today on our photo, You can see it just tells us that you cannot live alone. Sharing is caring, especially in this season of Yuletide. Don't forget that we're in a season of love, we're in a season of sharing, we're in a season of happiness. We must be able to share some love with someone, show kindness to your neighbors and everyone around you, and that's just the right thing to do in this season and also any other time. Just be good to someone and you'll be saving a life. So you can also tell us your thoughts on the photo of the day on our different social media platforms. On Facebook, Celebration TV; on Instagram, My Celebration TV; on Twitter, it's at My Celebration TV; and on YouTube, it's Celebration TV. Don't forget that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has backed his ways to success. And be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So be a part of nation building today. Thank you for watching the news on Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Billy Squetter, and once more, happy celebration.